Okay, now we are on to this project. If you recall here a few days ago, Nate was spreading manure with this. The manure in the barn was frozen. And on his second or third load, the spreader started hopping up and down, and we determined that this shaft on the very front of the shaft that runs the length of the spreader, the PTO shaft that goes between the tractor and it, the PTO shaft that comes from the tractor hooks onto the front of it. And the very end of it was bent. It was bent just in front of the bearing that's in the hitch. This shaft runs back to about here, has a chain coupler on the back end, and it hooks onto the shaft that continues back onto the back end of the spreader to run the beaters. In order to get this shaft in and out, it has to be able to pass through 4 carrier bearings. So when I took the old one out, it of course was no good. I tried to save the bearings. I cut the shaft in front of and behind all 4 bearings, pulled everything out in pieces. O'Hara's had this shaft in stock. However, they only had 1 bearing. I lacked 3 other ones, and I lacked a chain coupler. So we've got all those parts in this box here. We'll have to get this shaft cleaned up, make sure that the bearings will pass down it, or the shaft passes through the bearings. We'll set it in from the front. We'll kind of have to place them bearings as we go. Put our chain coupler on when we get it in the spot it needs to be, and then we can tidy this job up. Now, Patrick was here yesterday to plug the computer into this 8110, and it needs a CCU. Kind of what we figured. Well, we weren't sure it was gonna need a CCU, but we had figured, or Jared had figured, that a controller from this cab confused the controller on the tractor, and it scrambled both of them. And now it needs a CCU. So that's ordered. That's going to be here, I don't know, first of the week or so. And that'll get that finalized. We'll be able to get that thing going and out of here. Jared is priming fenders and other little pieces that we didn't get to. There's some metal work that he did to the fenders here yesterday, and now he's going to prime them. So, alright, we've got this shaft all cleaned, and we slid a bearing from one end to the other. However, this shaft, this one, had a little bend in it too, about right here. We did our best to straighten it. I'm hoping that it will be okay. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. You can see it kind of comes up right there and back down. But we're gonna make it work. So we'll slide it in from the front, put the bearings on as we go. We'll get it in there. Once it's all set and in there, and we're sure that this bend isn't gonna screw us, then we'll throw some paint on it so that it doesn't get all rusty looking. So, you ready? Yeah. Okay, so we have everything all installed, and despite this shaft having a little bend to it, it's running straight and true, and it's not binding at all. So that's a good thing. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the PTO shaft on. We can roll in underneath it, and we can kind of show you what things look like underneath there. It's a good thing this wasn't out on the road recently and had a bunch of snow under it, because it would have been a mess under here. Well, there's a double chain coupler in the back, and then that runs that shaft from there all the way back through to the gearbox. that runs them vertical beaters. Got another carrier bearing right here with a lock collar on each side of it so that that shaft won't move, and then bearings have set screws on them as well, but it's not gonna go anywhere. I mean, that chain coupler is gonna hold a lot of it together. So we'll go ahead and get this hooked up, roll it out the door, and then we got to bring the loader in and do lift cylinders on it. We got to repack them. So this took a little while to do, a little longer than I thought. All new parts going in. Everything slid nicely together. However, this 4-bolt bearing right here, you have to reach in through here to put the nuts on these top 2 bolts. And it's kind of cute. They don't have an inspection window or anything like that, or an inspection hole or whatever in the side of the frame here to put them nuts on there. This is only light gauge stuff here. I was thinking about just cutting a hole in it, kind of like what there is back there. All this really is just a cover, 1/8" steel. But that is Kuhn for you. That's how they design things. So, all right. Alright, this is all done. We're gonna get that loader in here now. We'll start working on that. We might want to hit the brakes there a little bit. He's getting it. To turn that on, we see how that's spinning. It's nice and straight. Before, that damn thing would hop right up and down. It was so bent. Okay, so this is the project. that we are now involved in. This left cylinder here is leaking out through the rod end here. So we've got a packing bad or something. I'm hoping the chrome is all good on that rod. It looked like it was all the way down through when you lift the bucket all the way up. I was also looking to see if the barrels were cracked, because that has happened on the 544 right at the base. They crack out and we have to get them re-welded. I've got the kits for both cylinders to rebuild both cylinders. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them apart. We might not have tools big enough to get them apart. So we've got this double hung and double strung with the gantry. So we got 2 chains on there. One of them chain falls, breaks. The other one's going to take hold of it. We're not dealing with an awful lot of weight there, but we are going to be working underneath this thing, so we want to be somewhat safe, and we could also put the forklift underneath it in the event that we're there for long periods of time. We'll pull the pins on the top of the cylinders, let the cylinders drop down. I want to get away without having a lot of oil on the frickin' floor here. I know. I should have washed it before I brought it in. It's 5 degrees out right now. So we ain't gonna wash it. We're just gonna work on her. So you've got a couple of M16 bolts in that teardrop pins. Yank them out. We'll get the forklift in here to hold that cylinder. We'll very carefully let the cylinder down with the forklift. Then we can take our hoses off and let them drain right into a bucket. I'm going to leave the cylinders hooked up down at the base for the time being, because I want to break that nut loose on the top of the cylinder before we go and remove it from the main frame. So this could either go really easy or it's going to be a real mongrel, right, Andrew? Yeah. Yeah. All right. pinch any hydraulic lines. So, got this unhooked. All right, you can go down. Looks like we're gonna luck out. We're gonna be able to just lay this right in here. Hold it a second. Yeah, we're pretty good. I'm gonna get a block of wood so we haven't got to put it all the way down. Alright, somewhat easy so far, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drain the cylinders and try not to create a lake in here because, yeah, so it's going to be fun. It'll be real fun. Alright, so this one is broken loose. Boy, if we could pop that sucker out, go get some grade buckets. We'll get this down here and then we can just stuff a ball underneath it, maybe. Might not be to the end of the thread. They have a tape measure, and then when I roll it, I'll be able to tell if it's in or not. See my tape measure? There it is. We're like 1 1/8 inches. Alright, now it's off. Okay. Now, hopefully we can pull the piston out. The piston might be stiff. I don't want to drop it on the floor, so bring that forklift right over. Clevis for that. Alright, so the piston is, we just can't pull it enough by hand. So we're going to assist it out of there with a forklift. And then I've got a choker on there so that it doesn't just drop on the floor. It'll drop and free hang from that. So go ahead and put a little bit of resistance on it, Andrew. We'll see what it takes. Okay, easy. I might as well try to catch it. Come and grab some pails. All right, we've got a lake in here. Oh, well. There's about 4-gallon oil in one of them barrels. So, well, we'll scrape some of this up and do the same thing to that other side there. So, at least this didn't drop on the floor. There. Got it too. Alright, hose out of the way. Alright. About 3/4 of it this time. Oh, well. Alright, come forward. Put it down. Okay, so we've got both cylinders dismantled, and now we're going to clean up this mess, put some kitty litter down, and in the morning we'll go ahead and pull these cylinders apart. We got to take the nut off the bottom, we'll get the piston off, and then we'll get that gland nut off, replace the packings that are in that, the packings on the gland nut, or the piston, and put everything back together and reassemble it. Kind of like we took it apart. That's the trouble. Don't put any of that down yet. I'm gonna scoop the oil up. That's the trouble we're working with hydraulics. We were sloppy, very sloppy, getting this off of there, but it's got to go together fast too, so it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't be that bad of a job. So we'll clean up our mess, get some floor dry down, and we'll join up with you guys tomorrow.